rage a plague, I'm like a sickness. Here to let you witness that I will go the distance. And then arrest and bust a blood pressure up in a second, cause I reckon so. Yo, you can't hang or bang, so now you know I'm up a level.
What's up, YouTube? It's the Big Kahuna back again with another video. And today I want to talk about all of these X1 YouTube channels coming from nowhere and why they're starting to come out like they are. And it's plain and simple. Sony fanboys. Yeah, I know. There's Sony fanboys right now, ponies rolling their sleeves up, ready to fight, you know, because I said what I said. Well, hey, you're not talking about the X1 fanboys. Let's get this out the way really quick. I've had a couple Sony fanboys in the comment section before, and they always wonder, why you always talk about Sony fanboys and not the X1 fanboys? Fanboys as a whole are a cancer to gaming. Yes, very true, they are a cancer to gaming. But not all those fanboys come to my channel and talk shit. It's the Sony fanboys. And guess what? I'm not always talking about the hypocritical things that Sony fanboys do. I'm not always talking about the lies and things that they put out in public. I'm not always talking about those type of things. I do more than that. I show features. Sony fanboys show up. I give impressions of games. Sony fanboys show up. Shit, I was just on Facebook where Phil Spencer had tweeted out about the president of Nintendo passing away, giving him all his accolades, talking about, you know, what he meant to the industry as a whole. And right under that, somebody tweeted him back. And guess what they said? PlayStation is beating X1 in sales. Sony fanboys. What the fuck does that have to do with what Phil Spencer was talking about? This is how you know you're dealing with immature fanboys. Now, I'm not going to always blame it on the little teenage kid, because they're teenage kids. That's what they're supposed to do. They act immature. But it was most likely somebody in their 20s. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm just saying. So this is the type of shit that you guys do. But you're not fanboys, and then you point your fingers at other people and call them fanboys. I did a video talking about my impressions of Batman. Nowhere in my video did I mention PS4, X1, Nintendo, PC, fanboys, fanboy wars, any of that. I just talked about how great the game was. And right in the comment section, 1080p, 900p, 23 million sold. This is how you know you're dealing with fanboys. But then they'll call me a fanboy. You fanboys keep jumping on that 23 million sold, as if that's a way of saying it's the better console, 23 million sold. But you are the same fanboys last generation that said PS3 is the best system out. It has the best exclusives. It has the best graphics. Some of y'all was even saying it's got the best features. Who cares about party chat? Who cares about cross gaming chat? This is what you guys were saying. But don't you guys remember that the PlayStation 3 and the 360 was getting their asses handed to them by the Wii? None of you guys will say the Wii was better than the PlayStation 3. But yet it was outselling the PlayStation 3. None of you guys who have a Vita will say that the 3DS is better than the Vita. But the 3DS was outselling the Vita. Had more games than the Vita. None of you will say that. But anyway, moving on. So, I go onto YouTube and I watch this video called Why Not to Own an X1. And the guy in the video says, I want to start with a disclaimer. I own an X1, a PS4, a Wii U, and a PC. I own an X1. So let's get to that. So he goes into all the stuff he hated, which was numerous things. I don't know why he even owned it. He hates so much about it. There was no reason for him to even have it. But anyway, he goes in to say, one reason why I don't like it is there's no way to turn it off on the actual console. Now, I have an X1. We all know this. There's 3 ways to turn this thing off. X1, off, turn off, and it'll say yes or no. Another way is, see the little glowy thing right there? The little glowy thing my finger's touching? Hold that, and it'll pop up on screen. Turn off console or turn off controller. The other way to turn it off. See this little glowy thing? They have one of these little glowy things on the Kinect and the actual console. Guess what happens when you touch the little glowy thing on the console? If it's glowing, it goes off. The console goes off. If you want it to turn on and you're not using this or the Kinect, you hit the little white symbol and it turns back on. So, either this guy was a dumbass or he was a liar. And I think I'm going to pick liar. I don't think you can be that dumb. I mean, there are people who can't find settings, but yet I don't think you could be that dumb. So let's go on to the second thing he said that he didn't like about the X1. I don't like the fact that you can't play games offline. Are you serious? You still gonna go with that shit? I made a video a year ago showing me playing all my shit offline. That includes digital and hard disk games. And it was so simple as to go to the settings and go down to My Home X1 and make it your X1. That was it. Play all your games, digital and hard disk, offline. And another thing he said, nobody wants the Kinect. It doesn't have any games, it's not really doing anything with the games. Well, just to let you know, not everybody purchased the Kinect because they wanted to do games. It was all about the voice control. It's about the snap features. Yeah, you can do that with the controller, but it takes more effort to do it with that. I already proved that the Kinect is much faster than the controller. You guys know. So, and yes, well, the console without the Kinect is outselling the one with the Kinect. Duh, it's cheaper. I know people who are buying the cheaper one and then say down the road when they have the money, they will buy the Kinect. Yes, some of them still won't buy the Kinect because of dumb shit that people like this guy says. And dumb shit that other ponies say. But I've ranted a little too much. But that is one example of why all these YouTube channels are coming up that happen to be X1. Whether they be the channel that's fighting against the lies and the hatred for the X1, or whether they just become the same thing as the pony, but only bots. And as I always say, fanboys don't love it, they just